Hello, Trinny.
Hi, Lucy.
I'm back. It's pretty cold outside today.
Oh, thank God it is, because we are talking about my favourite thing in my wardrobe, Lucy.
What would that be?
Coats.
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 What? Why coats? Why your favourite?
I think because coats transform everything. And it's the thing I've collected the most. And it's the items that have stayed the longest in my wardrobe and have tremendous sentimental and practical value. And they just, whenever I kind of feel a bit blah, that final piece is so important. And there's indoor out. There's so many different variations of coats. I'm very excited to talk about them. I really am.
So for most people, they might have one or two coats.
Very true.
Okay.
Yeah.
And probably something black. Just start.
Okay. I mean, I'm just going to, first of all, the caveat here is that, you know, I see my wardrobe as a collection and I build up on it every year. So I definitely have the craziest amount of coats, and I won't tell you the exact figure, but imagine that it's more than I have of everything apart from shirts.
Why don't you just tell me something really special? Let's start with something special first.
All right. I'll start with the first expensive coat that entered my wardrobe.
Okay.
All right. And it was a gift from my husband Johnny when I had just started what not to wear. And he gave it to me as a present. And I remember we went to A La Mode, which is this lovely shop off Sloane Square. And it was a woman who just had the most gorgeous things. I'd always go in there window shopping. Everything was too expensive. We went in during the sale and we found this coat. And I haven't worn this coat now for 10 years, but I know this is the first coat Lila will steal out my wardrobe. So it was then, let me just try and date it. I'm going to date it to probably Actually, I might even date it to like 2001 or 2000. It's by Marc Jacobs, and there was a whole sort of military style thing going on. And I think even though I'm not a khaki woman, this is what I call, you know, when you get different olives at a cocktail bar, it's that lightest olive. Mm-hmm. So it's softer on me. And with the red, it just pops that khaki, but it's an amazing length, and I'm quite tall, and I love lengths of coats. Is really important, so I love the length of the coat. It is a coat that I can just about still do up, and I like the fact that it's the kind of shape that could suit if somebody has big boobs and they're hourglass. This kind of length is exquisite, and you can even do double-breasted because you're using the double-breastedness to winch in your waist, but you can open the lapel over bigger boobs and in a way hide the size of boob and give you that more streamlined shape that's still going in at the waist. So I think it's just masterfully cut as well. I love the fact the back has a little bit here, because sometimes coats elongate my back, but when they have a waisted section, I feel they do that wonderful thing of sort of diffusing how low my bottom actually is. So this is it, and I was so excited to get it, and I wore it every single day. When it's cold, I could put that up to here, and it will be very long on Lila, but that doesn't matter because I think this kind of coat could nearly graze the ground.
It's super cool.
It was like a William Shakespeare sonnet to the coat, wasn't it? But it is just, I love it. And I'm putting it on now, I'm thinking, actually, I could wear this coat again. But as soon as I start wearing it, I know Lila will have it off my back. But she's still a tiny bit short, Lila, for that coat. So that's just one of my treasures. Okay, let's talk about shops that do great coats.
Okay.
Because I think there are certain companies I always go to for my coats. So one of the best top end of the high street coat makers is COS, because the quality is exquisite. The price point will be, you know, it will be 150, 180 pounds, but they're so beautifully made that they would be as nicely made as a Celine coat for £1,000, all right? And this is one that I bought, and then probably I got about 5 of my girlfriends to buy because I thought the cut was so clever. I've had this coat probably for about 10 years, and it's still in perfect condition. I wore it every single day, and fabric on coats is key, because there's sometimes you can go in a store, Lucy, and you can find a coat, think it's lovely, but you've got to ask yourself, will it attract white hairs? so therefore look really dirty and old, like the cat sat on it even though it didn't. So I think what I like about COS coats, and I put these on women with boobs and without, is that they're very architectural. And I love the fact that there's two, do you see it goes like that and then like that and you do it up. I can't quite do it up now, but I would wear it open. But it's just, you know, it's a lovely length to the knee, or just a bit above the knee. It's got pockets, which every single coat should have. Never buy a coat without a pocket. And it's grey, and it's this very flattering dove grey. There's very few people who can't wear this colour.
So you just touched on length there.
Yeah.
So why is the length, where it hits you, why is that important?
It's important for what you're going to wear it with. So when you're thinking of building up your coat collection, many women have coats that, I even had somebody on Instagram the other day when I was wearing a fun coat from Reserved, and they said, you know, Trinny, I just have to be practical with my coats, that they keep me warm. So I can't afford to get a coat which looks beautiful because it will make me cold. So I have a solution for that, because I think I prefer not to go for the kind of very practical coat and then have a styling issue. So when it's really cold, I take a Uniglow little sleeveless thing and I wear it under my coat because it gives me the warmth I need, but then I'm not looking like a sort of bulky Eskimo or just endlessly every day wearing a black, you know, puffer coat, which some people might do. Now, if you get really cold, it won't be enough for you, but these do. You know, if ever I'm filming and I'm in a city and suddenly I didn't have the right clothing on, I'll get one of these. They're not expensive. And I put that under my coat, and then I put my coat on top, and because it's sleeveless, I'm not going to feel I can't get my coat back on. But it's going to allow me to wear the coat open as well, because sometimes when coats are too small, like this one, I can't wear it closed. And I'm really warm, and it's chic. And these come in every single colour. So I have white, navy, grey, and a kind of bluey green. So I love this idea, and I think it's worth investing in. They're sort of like, I think they're £30. This is a shape of coat. This is my expensive everyday coat. This is from Celine, and quite a few high street have copied this coat, but maybe not with the weight of it. It's quite a heavy coat. It's really thick wool, but I wear this, and you can give an idea of this. This is like, if I'm running around, a lot of you say, what's my casual running around look? This is it, a pair of jeans, that little thing underneath, and then the coat on top.
It does look chic. Definitely.
Yeah.
With the zip done up.
With the zip done up, yeah.
Yeah, you wouldn't wear it.
I wouldn't wear it now.
No, undone.
No, I wouldn't wear it undone. You know me now, Lucy. So those are kind of classics. You know, if I'm getting, if I was investing in coats, it would be Celine, and I would do COS as my really top-end high street, beautifully made. Okay, let's talk about a white coat. I know it's, I mean, do you ever wear a white coat, Lucy?
I do have a couple of white coats, but I'm very nervous to wear them.
Okay.
Especially in London.
I think on a commute, you're always aware. Like if I'm on the tube and I'm wearing a white coat, I stand.
Yes.
I don't sit.
I'm the same.
So white coats can get dirty. They're impractical, but you can buy them in the high street. And once you have a white coat in your wardrobe, you suddenly are wearing it on a lot of occasions, even in winter.
It's so depressing when the winter kicks in and everyone wears black.
I know, and I'd love to get people into more colourful things. And then perhaps this is more for a sort of a spring moment. But this is quite a weighty white coat. And I think the cut of this is beautiful. What I love is it's double-breasted, but I would never do this up. I hardly ever do up a coat. But it's just a beautiful length again. It's just above the knee. I can wear it with a kind of ankle-length skirt. I can wear it with wide-leg trousers because it's not too much volume, because the length allows me to have a wide-leg trouser underneath. And I can wear it over a sort of, if I was doing short dresses, which I don't do above the knee anymore, but I could do it over that. But a lot of the time, I actually don't wear this coat like that. I literally wear it over my shoulders. I think you've seen me do this quite a lot.
Yes.
I do this because I don't always want to be constricted by a coat, especially spring, summer, autumn, winter. And I am menopausal sometimes, so, you know, you have a hot flush. And I'm sort of very used to it, so it doesn't fall off my shoulders. You've got to get a structure in that shoulder to do this kind of coat. A drop shoulder wouldn't look so good, a drop shoulder coat. So where the sleeve goes and how strong the shoulder pad is gives it the option to wear like this.
Yes.
Yeah?
Yes.
Okay. I mean, I've worn this coat maybe about 80 times. I've worn it so often. I once was at the hairdresser and some hair dye fell on this coat. Can you imagine? So the woman at the hairdresser said, use the thing which you take the tint off your hair.
Okay.
And I did it on it and it came off. It
Oh.
was a miracle.
What was it?
Hair tint remover.
Oh, fine.
Yeah. Super strong, chemical as hell, but really effective. I've got an off-white coat from Zara, which let me put these here because we talked about them, be practical, which it's more ecru, and this is a different shape. But I think I bought this at the beginning of last spring, and I've only started wearing it in the last few months. But it's incredibly pretty. This is a dropped shoulder, and I don't always like a drop shoulder, but there's a neatness about the coat, and I think it works really, really well.
Could you show us how that doesn't work as a draped?
Well, if I put it over my shoulders, I mean, I'm very used to it. I can do it, but it just, you can sort of, it might fall off because there isn't a shoulder pad. You see, so you might be like that, and then you're going, excuse me. So you have to be snug in it if you do that.
And it doesn't look as chic.
It doesn't, does it?
No.
And this, in fact, when we talk about inspiration from the high street, I'm just going to show you something if I still have it. This is what made me buy that coat, because this doesn't fit me anymore. But this was a Chloe coat, and I bought this coat in navy and in black and in cream. And you can see how tight it is. But I'm keeping it for lilac. But you can just see it has elements. It's a bracelet sleeve like that one. It's double-breasted. So I feel that when Zara were getting their inspiration, they might have had a few things from designers in their cupboards. Of course they did.
How old is that one?
This coat is about 16, 17 years old.
Oh, it's lovely.
And I keep it for lilac. I've noticed now there's a little mark there. But, you know, she'll probably, if I give it to her too young, she's going to trash it in a matter of weeks. So this might be on the list that I give her things when she's like, this is my thing, Lucy. I don't know if I've shared this with you yet. But first of all, if she moves into a flat when I'm kind of, further, whatever, she might be in a flat. There's no way she can have 100th of this stuff. So I want to kind of release things,
Yes.
Like release stuff when she's 16, release stuff when she's 20, release stuff when she's 30, because I got too much from my mum. Not many pieces, because actually my mum didn't invest in that many clothes, but my dad had, when she was in her 20s, bought her some lovely things, because my mum's never been fascinated that much by clothes. And I got them too early, because she didn't care about them enough maybe, and I trashed them. Like I trashed them between 18 and 19 or 15 and 16, and I'm so gutted because there were some amazing things that she had made in Paris gone.
Do you have anything vintage?
Yes, I do. Depends how you define vintage. Let's go for vintage. Like this is really vintage. So this is very vintage. You can tell it was by Robert Doland, a 36, Elston Street. God, that's right by our office. Kensington 570. I mean, you can tell how old it is. This is probably, if they still had the phone numbers like that, this is the 1950s. Maybe, no, 60s probably, this shape, 60s. I remember I have a break here. I can't get through always because I cut the lining and I might not even be able to get it on. God, hold on. But I wore this when I was wearing, you see, but if you wear a vintage coat, you need to wear it in a modern way. So if I wore this with a little dress, it might look pretty. I think I wore it sometimes for smart events where I wore shorter things. And I might wear white underneath it.
Yeah.
But it's kind of charming.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Really nice.
No pockets though. Fewer pockets in coats like this in the 50s.
Well, what would you need pockets for in the 50s?
Yeah, exactly.
The ladies.
Yes, ladies never needed a pocket. Because everything was carried in a little bag, or the man carried it. What should we go on to next, Lucy? What else would you like to know?
I want to know about something expensive.
Okay, I'll do what I call vintage expensive.
Yes.
So this is a Prada coat that I got in 2001. So it's really too tight for me, but I'm going to show you how I wear it. So I'd probably wear it with a, I can hardly do that button. I'll probably wear it with a wider trouser leg. I might wear it with this trouser leg actually, or I would wear it with a dress. But because it's a little bit too tight, I oddly now wear it with a belt. And belts over coats I love, because I think that there's some which are thin enough that you can put a belt over them, and they give a belt a whole new meaning. You can just get the gist of how beautiful that coat is. When you buy a coat that's a sort of tweedy coat, you want to be careful, if you're not a sort of countryside girl, to make it more urban. So that's why I quite like it with fresh white. But I also do it with leopard print. And if something, I can't even bend down, Lucy. If something's too small or it just needs help, I love a scarf with a coat. And there's certain ways I tie a scarf with a coat. So I'm just going to show you with this. A lot of you ask me about scarves. So this is one of many scarves I got from Louis Vuitton. And I got them in about 8 colours. And they have, you know, cost per wear, they're probably 10p. I've taken them around the world. I wear them as sarongs in the summer. I do everything with them. So when I do a scarf over a coat, I usually get one big enough like this that if I fold it in half at the corners, I take it round the back. I can hardly get my arms up, Lucy. And then I bring it round there, like that. And I just put it right by my face. This is a very good trick if you have a coat, inherit a coat, or buy a coat in a sale and it's not totally the right colour, is get a scarf and wear it really high to your neck, and you can either tuck it in the coat or just let it drape. And if you let it drape there, it will give you more of a waist. And also if you have a tummy, all right, and you want to wear some coats and you want them to feel that you buy them a size too small because you want to get the waist in that coat, then wear a scarf over. And you can, if they're this big, you can wear them longer to gently graze your tummy. So you still get the sort of waist effect of the coat, but you wear it open.
Can you tell me how those patterns go together? Because I think a lot of people wouldn't ever put
those together.
Print with print.
Well, sometimes I think that when you have something that's quite a strong print, the way you diffuse the print is you put another print with it, because the contrast otherwise is very strong. So if I do it against white, you really notice the check. But when I have the printed scarf there, it sort of diffuses it. Mm-hmm. Can you see that?
Yeah.
So I try and get 2 colours that are in the scarf, taken inspiration from the jacket. So on this one, we've got sort of black there, and we've got this sort of fawny brown, tanny colour, which it's in there. So they go together.
It works so well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
I think a lot of people would just reach for a brown scarf or black. Yeah.
Yeah. And I think just being, you know, there are many scarves out there. Getting them big enough that you can fold them over is important. Let's talk about fun, patterned, modern coats.
Yep.
That you can put with a dress, you can put with a pair of jeans. So ASOS, I love for these kind of coats. And I have 2 or 3 from ASOS. This is one of them, which is a bit mad. 50s inspired.
Yeah.
The same waffly effect as that cream one, but incredibly beautiful colours. And I don't usually wear bright green, but I love the lavender. And it's kind of fun and, you know, it's a fun coat. It's got pockets like that. But I sometimes will then put this scarf with it. Do you see it's done something different to the print? Mm-hmm. It's not following, because there isn't actually, there's another coat I do this with. Oh, it's there! Sorry, let's start again. So anyway, ASOS, great patterned coats. All right, I have a few of them, but this one, Baum und Pfeffergarten. This is a coat many of you see.
I love this coat.
And I have it in 2 different colours. And this cost per wear, there's Baum und Pfeffergarten. I don't think it's German, I think it's Scandinavian, the brand. And this is just a great coat. You see, there's something I like about the scarf. So I wear this with my wide leg trousers, I wear it with jeans. But there's 2 things in this I love. There's the fact it's metallic. So the merit of a metallic coat, whether it's a sequiny or silver or something, will just lift your face. So even if I show you, so there's with the scarf, just to show you that's how I wear it together. But it's just reflects a bit. Mm-hmm. And I like the fact that it's, again, got a high waist and it's got pockets. I would generally wear this, funnily enough. We discussed this in another film with jackets, Lucy. But do you see, these are very low-waisted.
Yes.
And the waist is here, so
Yes.
I always wear this. So imagine I have that. Do you see the difference now? So I love to wear this with a high-waisted trouser, and then that's at the same level, and it gives you this incredible elongation of your legs.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, compared to that.
Yeah.
Got it?
Yeah. Oh,
Okay.
yeah. The difference is, yeah.
So where buttons end on coats, or where the waisted bit is, try and, if you can, match them with your trousers or your skirt.
That's, you know, print and fun and bright.
Yeah.
But do you own a black coat?
Yes, I do. I do own a black coat, but it took me forever to find this coat, in terms that I have a few black coats, but I always felt that they drained me because I'm not good with black. But there's definitely a place for a black coat. But I wanted my black coat, and I did go on a black coat quest for 3 years before I found this coat. And this coat is from COS. And what's so great is, to me, a black coat should be a day to night coat. So if I'm going somewhere smart and I'm wearing a sort of black tux or a black dress, which I very rarely do, but I do, this coat, the length is good, the shape is good, everything. I'll show you all the details of the coat. It's clever. It's quite heavy, which I like. It's got a very narrow lapel, which I love. It's got one button, which I adore. So as the coat goes, I think to myself, I could have found this coat in Celine, and I would have saved up to buy it. So it's a very similar to the Celine shape of the navy one, but there's a few key differences. One is there's a metallic running through it, so it gives it a luxury. There's a black coat. If I'm wearing it in the day and it's really cold, I'll wear a little, you know, one of my things in a pale grey from not Muji, from Uniqlo. It has a frayed edge. Now, some of you might think, oh my God, it looks like, you know, that's a mistake. But I love frayed edges because I think they soften structures. And as this is quite structured, it gives it a femininity and takes it away from being a real masculine covert coat. And then I adore the fact it's got this lining that comes out underneath. So for layering, if I wear black cropped Zara trousers and I have the crop there, and then I have this, and then I have that as 3 layers, I adore that. It softens it. And then if I wear an evening dress, which is long, it sort of blends into the evening dress. So to me, there couldn't have been a black coat made more that I would wish for.
Can I just be very practical and ask a question about the frayed edges?
Yes.
Is there anything to stop it from just fraying away to nothing?
There is, if you look in here, usually when they do a purposeful fray, they will line it at the back with a binding, and they've actually done a stitching here and a little binding. So what I do occasionally is I trim my fray.
Okay.
Yeah, I trim my fray.
Okay.
Can we talk now? Because Lucy today... Let me just show
No!
Lucy. No, Lucy's wearing leopard, and I want to be inspired by your leopard, Lucy, because let's talk about animal print.
Okay.
Yeah, because I think animal print, you love it. I've always wanted a leopard coat, always, and this is another coat I search high and low for, and I found it last year in Topshop, and this is the coat, and I don't know how long, because of the quality, that it's going to last hanging well, but I think what was fantastic about this coat is that it is long, and that it's a really nice print. And I think when you're buying a leopard print coat, you've got to really not compromise on the size of the leopard print. Is it the right size for you, and the color combinations of that print? All right, so this is this is leopard. So what I like is that it's not too contrasting in the leopard. It's not black with really pale, because that doesn't suit me so well. It's double-breasted again. I like the structure. It's not beautifully made, because can you see the end? The lining is caught.
Yes.
And that really bugs me. So there's 2 things here that I thought about, all right? So just to show it there. And I'll show you how I wear it like that, and I also wear it. Where's my little scarf, Lucy? Yes, I have been known to do double leopard, and I love doing double leopard. So when you do double leopard, when you consider the concept of double leopard, do consider trying to get something where it's really similar, because I just think it works better. But I do double leopard, and then I even do a bag, but I'll do that when I'm doing leopard.
Just go for it.
I do leopard. And this keeps me warm. I wore this all winter, Lucy, and it really kept me warm. But and I really like the length. But it really bugged me how badly it was made, because I can either get it weighted, so this seems such a crazy thing to do, but when coats are beautifully made, they're weighted in the bottom of the seam of the coat, and that makes them hang incredibly beautifully. And a little bit here is all the Queen's skirts and dresses and coats are weighted so that she never has an inappropriate wind moment. Would I undo that, put a bit of weight here, get that right so that it hung beautifully? Because the fabric's not going to go off, you know.
What is it? What's it made of?
It's made of totally synthetic. I'll tell you, the only bad thing about this is if I'm on a carpet and I'm walking and walking, then I were to shake your hand, you get an electric shock. Yeah. Can we end up on two important coat types to consider, ladies? I just hope this gives you inspiration to think, if I've got practical commuter coats, where could I delve into next?
Yeah.
Or if you're building a coat collection, what do you want to go into next? Yeah. Do we feel it's that,
yes.
that route? And just be inspired by the joy of coats.
Yes.
And stuff. So there's Zara every year do these wool coats, and this year they've done them with a dropped. I tried one on in blue. You might have seen a bit longer, but it had the dropped shoulder, and for me, the drop shoulder didn't work. I think if you're slightly bigger, weirdly it does. If you're sort of, you know, if you're like 5'3", 5'5", and you're slightly bigger, it kind of sits beautifully because you might have a broader looking shoulder. But for me, it just drowned me. So last year when they did those coats, they didn't drop the shoulder, and I bought them, as you know, and any of you follow me, I bought it in yellow. My first one was in orange. No, hang on. My first one was in green, bright green, difficult to wear. Then the next one was in the orange, this one. And then the final one was in yellow. So I have them in 3 colors, but they last really, really well because, again, it's that kind of what I call boiled wool, but soft. They're the kind of seams where they don't use, well, they used to just use glue when they made them expensively, but I love the seam on these coats. And they hang really well. I can do them up if I want, slightly tight. I do get the small. I prefer to get the small in a coat and have it open because I just think it becomes too much of a coat when I do it up. And I wear so many of my coats indoors, and I'll wear them with a light thing underneath. But this is that perfect indoor-outdoor coat.
Yes, I can vouch for that. You will walk around the office with your coat on all day, not compromising on the style.
No, but this is joyful and maybe not practical, but okay, this is the other thing, and you've seen me do it, and you think I'm mad, but I do coats with coats. I do double layering of coats.
Do not get too hot.
I don't. But I can't look at coats here and think which one I've double layered, but I sometimes do a sleeveless single gilet and a coat over it.
Yes.
I can do that. But these are great, and I think that Zara do these best.
And when do you go and buy a coat? What time of year? Because you said the other day something about making a mistake when you buy too early in the season.
Yeah, God, you never forget anything you see.
I just listen.
I think I have done that. I think I've got an excitement in me that it's the autumn season, let me buy a coat. And I'm thinking, have I ever made coat mistakes? But then I keep them and then they might come back again. This is a coat I bought and then I thought, oh, am I ever going to wear it? But I know it will become a classic and I'll wear it. This is also Zara, but I saw this in TRF and I thought, oh my, I was the other side of the store and it spoke to me. Because it reminded me of my grandfather. My grandfather used to wear it wasn't called a morning coat, a smoking jacket. A smoking jacket. And my father too, and there's a portrait of my father my mother has, and he's wearing a burgundy smoking jacket with a little black lapel. Look at that. It's so luxurious. It's cozy as hell.
Yeah.
And I can even do it up. And that to me was an initial mistake because I thought, oh, I'm never going to wear it because I don't look great in burgundy. But then what I wear it with actually is a bright pink shirt underneath, and it takes on a whole new meaning and it makes it more modern. So I love that. That's my waffly coat. All right,
that's great.
Okay, we're going to do two more.
Two more.
Because I just that came in as a last contender. Okay, so yes, this is a coat I was given for my birthday last year by darling Charles, and he buys me one thing on my birthday, and so I really look forward to it. And he said, what do you want? And I said, I love a coat. He said, you have so many coats, Trinny. And I just said, well, can we have a look? So we went into Joseph and it was a sale. And there were 3 coats. And I thought I wanted the other coat, which was a longer lion navy coat, but it was like an opera coat. And he said to me, Trinny, I think this is a better coat. You've got a very good eye. So he got it for me. And I just love the gangsterness about it. I love the extra broad shoulder. I love, again, you can see the pattern and repeat pattern of me with that narrowish lapel. I like the fact it's a bit lower, so I can wear this with the jeans because it's just nearly at the right place. I love the fact that it's got a pocket here and it's got a pocket here. So if I want to be slouchy,
nice,
or I want to be high, I can do both. I can have them out or in, and it will last me forever.
Yeah, that is a classic.
And it looks amazing with a bright red lip. So this season, there are a ton of, I think I get this out because I want to say to you, houndstooth, dog's tooth. And there's 2 different things. So basically, some people call it houndstooth and some people call it dog's tooth. Depending on the size, people might call it different things. But when they're very big, it can be an overpowering print. And there is one at the moment, which is quite a big one in Zara, but I wear it as a jacket because it's less, you know, big black and white bold print. But there's quite a few houndstooth and dog's tooth this season in lots of different stores. And I just think it's a wonderful coat to get. This is a coat that is the coat I put on when I'm really, really tired, and I'm wearing it because it's my best colour I can ever wear.
Yeah, this colour is stunning.
I love this. This is by, who's it by again?
Sly.
Always Sly, thank you. But the pattern again, slightly wider lapel for me, but that blue, can you just see, I feel it gives,
Yeah.
love it. And I love the cut. There was bad things about this coat though, I'm going to show you when they've designed it. So they had the buttons here and here. When there was a button there and I did it up, it was just weird because it pulled here. And I thought, that's such a bad design to have a tight button when you've got a low slung bottom. And it didn't work. And I thought, and it nearly made me not buy it because also with a button here, it led your eye down there. Mm-hmm. You never want things that lead your eye to the wrong place on your body, all right? So I cut the button off, left the button whole. But you sort of, from far away, you feel it does up here. Yeah. And then the hang is good. So it just goes out a bit. So I think we said this, Lucy, a lot on clothing, but you know how we can try stuff on and it might not be 100% correct, but there might be enough correctness about it that you could then adapt it at home.
Yeah.
So I think coats you should kind of put on, think this is amazing. This is one coat where I tweaked it. I could go on for hours about my coat.
This is so great. How would you style this coat?
I could style it 2 ways. So I would also, I did it with a dress, and you might have seen that if you haven't seen the dress film. I showed it with a pink dress underneath, but I had this old Gucci belt and I put this over it. So this coat actually also looks nice with a belt on it. Yeah. And just gives it another look. And consider fun belts over coats. It doesn't matter if it doesn't draw your waist in. It just changes your coat. And sometimes with a black coat, you could put a fun belt on if it's a very fitted coat, and you'll just think you have another piece of clothing in your wardrobe. So that's, yeah. Well, there's so many other things I want to show you. Oh, so many other things.
Maybe we have to do coats part 2.
We do, because we've also got to get back to the office and we've got to go and Lucy and I have to go and do real work. Like I have to go and give somebody their assessment. Lucy has to go and run the social media team because we have day jobs. But I really hope you've enjoyed it.
Such a joy. I don't know how I'm going to edit this, honestly. Everything is just great. Yeah. But thank you so much for taking the time to show me around your
You're welcome. What are we going to do next, Lucy?
Oh, we'll have to think. I can't wait to do sequins.
Oh my God, we're doing sequins next. Yes!
Okay.
Okay.
See you later.
Bye.
Bye.